The term luxury has us entrepreneurs in a chokehold. So many dub their brands as luxury but have no idea what it truly means. Today, I am breaking all of this down for you, so stay tuned. Now, before you try to fight me, let me just say that yes, there are luxuries to life that are relative to the person, such as taking a bubble bath or indulging in a candle sale. However, the luxury that we are focused on today is the branding aspect of it all. More specifically, luxury product brands and how you can build one. So today, I am going to be defining what a luxury product brand actually is. I'm also going to be sharing with you the 6 components to a luxury product brand, and I'm going to paint the picture for you with real life examples and real life brands. Before we hop into the meat and potatoes of the video, I am Chanel, the brand hustler, and I make videos for entrepreneurs who are interested in building and expanding their product-based brands. So if you are interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure that you go ahead and hit subscribe and join the Hustle Babe community. Let's kick things off by discussing what a luxury product brand is. But before I share my definition of a luxury product brand, I want to hear your opinion. So drop down below in the comments what you think a luxury product brand is, and if you don't have that full definition for me, drop down the first brand that comes to mind when you think of a luxury product. Now let's get into this discussion. Luxury brands pretty much are brands that aim to give customers a strong sense of exclusivity, a strong sense of selectiveness, a strong sense of extraordinariness. Honestly, to put it in layman's terms, a luxury product brand aims to have their consumers feel like they're the creme de la creme. Luxury dates back hundreds of years ago, to the point where prehistoric times, there were people who wanted to signify how much money they had or how many possessions or property they had by doing certain things or buying certain things or acting certain ways. So luxury came about because of that. Luxury was a sign of wealth back then, and it was a way for wealthy people to basically establish their position and also a way for them to differentiate themselves from everyone else. So when a brand aims to give a luxury experience, or when a brand aims to sell a luxury product, they keep that in mind, because the upper echelon has a certain expectation when it comes to the things that they buy, the services they receive, and the overall experience of it all. If you are aiming to build a luxury product brand, it's important for you to keep that in mind. Not only that, but even though luxury is more attainable than it's ever been before, it is still important for you to incorporate the 6 components of a luxury brand, which I am about to share with you right now. The first component or feature of a luxury brand is a strong brand identity. Now, honestly, this is something that I believe every business should have, but it's extremely important if you are aiming to build a luxury brand. And here is why. So luxury brands tend to capture this sense of excellence, this sense of uniqueness. They have a certain personality and aura to them, and it gives off a certain attitude in a way, right? When it comes to building a luxury brand, it's important for you to identify which identity it is that you want to build for your brand. What type of attitude will your brand have? What aura will your brand have? What specific outlook or desire are you tying your brand with that you will then exude through your visuals, through your content, through your marketing, and all of the things? A good example of this is Tiffany. Tiffany is a company that is known for romance. You hear the words Tiffany & Co. and you automatically think romantic, you think a symbol of love, you think Tiffany blue, you think breakfast at Tiffany's, because of the strong brand identity that they have built. Another example of this is Lamborghini. So Lamborghini is actually known as the Playboy's kind of toy of choice when it comes to cars. And they've built themselves that way. If you go back and look at their past ads or look at their past videos and commercials and things like that, you will realize that down to the models, down to the verbiage, down to just the whole vibe of it all, it matches that Playboy aesthetic, which helps them execute that strong brand identity that they've built. Many luxury brands develop this strong brand identity through storytelling. They also develop it through strategic partnerships. And partnerships can be collaborations with influencers, collaborations with celebrities, collaborations even with other big brands that align with the same focus and identity that they are aiming to achieve. Now, if you have worked with an influencer before, I want you to drop it down in the comments. Let me know what your experience was like when you worked with that influencer. And if you haven't worked with an influencer before, drop down in the comments and let me know that you haven't worked with an influencer before. And I ask this because I am actually planning an influencer video for next week, crosses my fingers, where I'll be discussing influencer marketing and how to decide if you need an influencer for your brand. But more importantly, within the eHustle Club, I am actually breaking down how to build an influencer marketing strategy. And this is a class that we're having live next week, Thursday. So if you want to learn about creating your influencer marketing strategy for your brand, then you definitely want to make sure that you sign up for the eHustle Club. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. If enrollment is open, definitely join. If it is closed at the moment, definitely make sure that you hop on that wait list. Now, let's get into feature or component number 2. Luxury component number 2 is having a desirable meaning. This one can be a little bit confusing, but to simplify it, you want to think about it like brand positioning. Luxury brands tend to develop a strong or a desirable meaning when they have a rich history. So if you look at brands such as Louis Vuitton and how Louis Vuitton started, like he started because he had some family issues and had to go out and do things on his own, and then he ended up getting this skill, building these luggages for the wealthy, and then he ended up just striking success that way. But that story literally happened hundreds of years ago and now adds to the meaning of the brand today. Obviously, if you don't have hundreds of years worth of history because you're just starting this brand or you just started this brand recently, you can still establish that through positioning your brand strategically and in a unique way. You want to think, what sets my luxury brand apart from another luxury brand? That's one. What sets my brand apart from another brand that's selling the same thing or a similar thing? What experience or access am I giving my customers, my consumers? What am I giving them that they can't get elsewhere? You want to answer those questions just to start off so that way you can build your brand positioning. Now, you can actually get deeper into this and do things like a SWOT analysis and a competitor analysis and all that jazz. But because I'm trying to move through these really quickly, I'm going to have to save that for another video, or you can join the eHustle Club and we talk about it all in there, to be completely honest. Moving on to feature number 3, and that is high quality of make. This one I feel is a no-brainer because typically people associate luxury with high quality and that's it. And they usually think that just because something is durable or something is made of a good material that it's automatically luxury, which, as you're learning from this video, it's not, because there are multiple components to luxury. But having a high quality product is definitely a component, okay? And so high quality just means that it is something that has longevity. It is something that is durable. It is something that you took the time and put the actual work into to build out. Whether that means it's something that's handmade, or whether that means that you just monitor the process of that product being made, have some type of quality inspection process in place, so that way every single product that comes out of that factory or out of that facility or wherever it is, that warehouse, is up to a certain standard and up to a certain level of craftsmanship. An example of this is Ella Lescape. One of the things that she does that I admire is she flies to her warehouse, which is located in Turkey, and she will walk around the warehouse where people are actively sewing her clothing pieces and check them about threads that are sticking out, or check them about a loose button. And so she does this to quality inspect her products because she knows she is delivering a luxury experience to her consumer, and she wants to make sure that there are no snags in the clothing, there are no loose threads, there are no hanging buttons, there are none of that. She wants to make sure that you get the best product possible. On top of that, she chooses amazing materials, okay? And I actually have a couple of her pieces myself, so I'm just gonna show you guys the quality of the materials really quick. Give me 1 second. Like, look at this. This is a bow, right? And look at how thick the quality is on this bow. And then look at the actual material of it. And then it has like a little train thing. Look at how it moves. Look at how it moves. This is good quality fabric. This has some bounce. It has some weight to it. You can't rip this easily. You can't stretch this easily. You can't fade this easily. This right here is a good quality dress. And literally all of my pieces that I have from her are super good quality, just like this one. I think I have about 5, maybe even 6 pieces from her, and they all have the same level of quality. That right there, guys, is a crucial part to a luxury brand. Whew. Now let's get back into these 6 components. Component number 4 is rarity, or you can say scarcity as well. Simply put, is your product difficult to access or difficult to own? If the answer is no, then you're probably not a luxury product brand. And if the answer is yes, then you are on your way with being a luxury product brand. The reason why is because the luxury consumer wants something that most can't have. They also want something that's worth fighting for. Think about chicken versus escargot, for example. Chicken is easily accessible to the point where you can go to KFC and get a 2-piece for probably like $3. But to get escargot, you have to go to a fine dining restaurant, and you're paying a pretty penny just for some snails, just because they are so rare, right? They are hard to find, and so their value immediately goes up, and it is defined as a luxury. Now, a brand example of this is Telfar. Now, I don't have a Telfar bag of my own, but Telfar literally nails this scarcity aspect to a T. When they originally started dropping, they were dropping limited quantities, and they were selling out really fast, to the point where if you weren't on any of their subscription lists, you would not get notified, and you would probably miss out on getting a bag. Another good example of this is the Birkin. The Birkin at one point had 6 years worth of people on the waiting list, y'all. 6 years. Now, let me know down below in the comments, do you think you could wait 6 years for a bag? Let me know. Would you wait 6 years on somebody's wait list just to get a $20,000 bag? Isn't that crazy? But the reason why people still want it and they go after it is because seeing a wait list that long proves to me that a lot of people want it, but guess what? A lot of people can't get it. And that is that rarity aspect, that is that scarcity aspect that the luxury consumer wants. Luxury feature number 5, an elevated design aesthetic. This goes a notch above craftsmanship because in order to sell that product that is so beautifully made, you want to make sure that your visuals and your design exudes the same attitude and personality and identity that you've built for your brand, as well as communicates the quality level of the product. Typically, your luxury brand is designing everything from their website to their billboards to their posters and everything in between with a certain aesthetic that adds like a sense of sophistication. It adds this unique element to it, and it really has like a couture edge to it in a way. When you look at these luxury brands, they start to give you an emotion, and that emotion is called desire. More specifically, I like to call this the distance of desire effect. It pretty much means that they are going to make something seem very desirable, but at the same time seem very far away, so you want it even more. And when you get it, you will actually be super happy that you'll share the news and you'll share it everywhere because you are so exclusive. You were able to get this thing that is out of this world. To prove it to you, I'm going to pull up Louis Vuitton's website on my phone, and I'm going to screen record and just go through it really quickly and pinpoint some of the visuals and things that they use on their website that basically build this distance of desire effect that I'm talking about. All right, so immediately when you go to Louis Vuitton's site, the video that's at the top, this is something completely made up. This is showing you kind of like a fantasy world, because in the real world, teddy bears don't move, they don't walk, and where the heck is this teddy bear anyway, right? So looking at this, you see how they're painting this fictional world that you actually want to be in. And then as you scroll down and even look at the pictures, so look at this model, look at the background, then look at this video and how this lady is getting a gift of a Louis Vuitton package of some sort, and then it kind of just fades out or zooms out, right? That's giving you this dreamy effect, this fantasy once again. And as you keep scrolling, you see something that's a little bit more realistic. These models are walking on a bridge, but then afterwards, one of the models is actually walking like on the edge of the bridge, I believe, which obviously we don't want to happen, okay? And then as you scroll down, you then see how the picture of the fragrance, its background, the clouds are purple and pink. It just gives you this fantasy vibe that makes you want to be there, and it makes you want it. That is the distance of desire effect, y'all. And if you want your brand to showcase and scream luxury, one of the things that you need to do is make sure that you have an elevated design experience that can paint that fantasy world for someone, or at least exude the aura that they're going for. Their desire needs to be here, and where they're at needs to be here. That way they can want it even more, okay? It's crazy, but it works. Luxury feature number 6 is an extraordinary service experience. If you've shopped with a luxury brand before, especially if you've went to one of their boutiques, you know that the service level is unmatched. 9 times out of 10, when you walk in, you are handed a glass of champagne, you are met at the door by one of the sales associates, and they walk you through your buying process. They probe you with questions, they figure out what you need, why you need it, so that way they can source the best product for you. They'll even go above and beyond to the point where if they're sold out of a particular thing or something hasn't come out yet, they actually give you their card, they take your information, and they alert you when it's in store, which is honestly the best thing ever. Even then, let's say that you don't get that one-on-one experience and you don't get all the things. A lot of times the luxury brands have repair services. So on the back end, after you've bought a product, you can actually get your product repaired, get it cleaned. Some of them even have warranties. And if you get a value product, like if you go to Walmart and you buy something, like they're not going to care to repair your product. They're not going to care to clean your product for you. And they're definitely not giving you a one-on-one experience, because when I go to Walmart and I can't find something, I gotta figure it out on my own. I can't even find an associate in the store that day to lead me to where I need to be. So heck, what happens if I'm like, hey, can you get this from another store for me and have it delivered here? That would probably be a headache and a lot of hills to climb that you shouldn't experience when it comes to a luxury brand. So if you are aiming to build a luxury brand, definitely aim to have an extraordinary level of service. You want to put a lot of effort and a lot of energy into how your customers feel. Put a lot of thought into what they're going to go through after they buy the product and what issues may arise, and already think about the most seamless ways that you can solve them. I know I said that I only had 6 features for a luxury brand, but I actually have 7. I am giving you a bonus. And this 7th one is one that you probably already know, but you haven't broken it down like this before. And that is price. So the 7th component or the 7th feature to a luxury brand is actually the price. This is where most entrepreneurs get confused. They either price their product really high and call it luxury, when in reality, a high price is the result of doing the 6 things that we just covered. Or worse, they do all the 6 things successfully, but then they fall short when it comes to pricing correctly. Maybe they price themselves too low. And that is the worst thing that you can do, because pricing is actually a brand related strategy, and the wrong pricing can chase your customers away. No one wants to go to Walmart and spend $1,000 on a shirt, but no one wants to go to Louis Vuitton and spend $10 on a purse. You see what I'm saying? Pricing has a strategy that has your brand at the core. If you want to build a luxury brand, make sure that you do all the 6 components, like have all the 6 components that I just listed, and then make sure that you price yourself strategically so that way it makes sense in terms of your brand's positioning and also makes sense for you in terms of everything else on the back end. Within the eHustle Club, I actually have a lesson all about brand positioning, all about pricing, and they even get a template to build out their pricing for each and every product. So if you're interested in getting your hands on that, then you definitely want to join the club. I hope that the information in this video opened up your eyes to the inner workings of a luxury product brand. We talked about everything from storytelling to brand positioning to pricing. And so if you're struggling with any of these things, please make sure that you check out the eHustle Club, because baby, we cannot have you struggling with those. Those are very important and we want you to succeed, okay? So check out the eHustle Club. I'm gonna leave the link in my description box. You definitely want to make sure that you go ahead and check that out. And if enrollment is closed, join the wait list so that way you can be alerted. Make sure that you also follow me on Instagram at The Brand Hustler. I share tips and also give a dose of my entrepreneurial lifestyle on there as well. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, because next week I am going to be sharing a video where I am walking you through how to build your very own brand kit and what brand guidelines are. And we're even going to have a video on influencers. So if you're interested in knowing whether or not you need an influencer for your brand, and if you're interested in building out your own brand kit, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because you don't want to miss it, okay? Join the Hustle Babe community, because it is the best community ever. So I will see you in the next video. Bye, Hustle Babe.